Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and welcome to another issue of Forbidden Music. So this time I have a real interesting one, because today the forbidden music that we are listening to is Prince's Let's Go Crazy. To my knowledge, Prince does not like having his music posted on YouTube, but what we're doing is not actually hearing it, we're watching it through Airwindows Meter. And the reason I grabbed this is because the $10 Not Patron post is Yes's Leave It, which is produced by Trevor Horn. I cannot believe that I forgot to mention in doing my 5-10 minutes of talk to the beginning of that record demo. And those ones you get to actually hear it because I'm picking stuff that isn't forbidden from YouTube. I did not think to mention that the producer Trevor Horn, who produced 90125, had been Yes's lead singer once. In the album Drama, they took on the Buggles for keyboards and vocals. Believe it or not, I have that record. It's interesting. But this is Prince and the Revolution, Purple Rain. Huge 80s record. And although you don't actually get to hear much of it, the plugin ContentID is going to let me play little tiny snippets of it. And you should be able to hear, even in the little tiny snippets, what's contained within this mix. Because we've got a lot of really strong, striking tones coming off of this old record. And the playing it through Airwindows Meter shows you that Prince's sound out of Minneapolis at this time was spectacularly well crafted. And it makes the absolute most of lots of heavy peak energy to the point where the entire song is 6 dB down until the very end, when they go into the final big bombastic finale and the drums go to all double kick and rumble, 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 which is extremely deep, by the way. And the guitar's going crazy and all that stuff is happening. And that's what he's saving the final 6 dB for. But you'll plainly hear that all of the songs have this real mid-range rip to them, because they are all sculpted to within an inch of their lives to present maximum sonority, maximum apparent volume for whatever the sound is. And one of the things that you do get to hear snippets of, apart from, little snatches of voices here and there, all of that kind of stuff, the PA system kind of effect for his preacher bit at the very beginning, the initial chords continue for long enough that you hear those as well. And then you'll hear little snatches of the guitar solo. And the guitar solo sounds amazing because there's a bunch of effects on what's obviously a Stratocaster bridge pickup. And it seems to be going into sort of your classic Jimi Hendrix Marshall stack. I don't know for a fact that it is, but it's got the kind of sound where it's off of your classic Jimi Hendrix Marshall stack with the oldest possible speakers. Not very high wattage speakers. So it's just a very bright, penetrating kind of sound. And that comes through real well in the recording. So basically, this is a masterclass on 80s style production, up to and including the fact that it's loaded with peak energy and everything is all spiky and aggressive. You'll hear some of that, to the point where most of the song is 6 dB down peak, because the final part of the song goes that hard and is that much louder than everything else. Again, we got to do this in the 1980s. I was around when this stuff was coming out on radio, and it really cut through the radio like crazy, because what you do is you just run through a radio processor to bring stuff up. But this is the opposite of what people do these days with your Loudination and clipping and limiting and all that kind of stuff. This is the most unlimited stuff that you can possibly get, is this overproduced 80s stuff back from when it was released. I dare say if you were finding CDs or streaming service versions of any of these things, and who's to say with stuff that is that tightly protected whether it even made it onto streaming services properly, you're probably not going to be able to hear it like this because it would come off weird with like the hottest peaks for the bulk of the song being 6 dB down from loudinated. It would just come off as super weird and super quiet. But this is what it really was back in the day. And you can do it again anytime you want if the style of music suits it. So if you're looking for that type of sound, if you're looking for that, oh my God, the 80s is so amazing, the intensity of it was so far beyond anything that we do these days, this is why. This is why. Peak energy is everything. And just study, and you'll hear little bits of it, just study what Airwindows Meter does with this one. And the colors that come across for each of the two different kinds of meters. There's the original Airwindows Meter, which is a white background. And then the ones that are built into ConsoleH and ConsoleX2, which are a black background. And so I'm showing both. But look at how consistent the tone colors are, because that's what the dots in the meter show, is not only amplitude, but also tone color, how bright they are. And if you can match the tone colors everywhere they appear, you've matched the sound. Here is Prince, not actually being able to hear it, because this is the forbidden music. You don't actually get to play this on YouTube. But here is Prince for you to watch and hear tiny bits of it. Let's go crazy. Enjoy.
Life, it means forever. The afterworld. Never-ending happiness. Day. You know the one, Doctor. How much of your time is left? 'Cause in this life, and if the elevator tries to go crazy, the world you're living in around you. I call my old lady. It's all I heard. The elevator break crazy. Slip for the purpose. Save the truck. Let's go. I'm excited. Maybe all gonna die. What's it all for? For the people come now. Gonna let the elevator go crazy. Look for the put us in the truck. Come on, baby.